I'll explain it to you. So basically, I've had this idea for a few months now. Actually, I think last season I was gonna start it, but I never did because I was busy with school and trying to, bide my time correctly. But now
Sure.
that I'm out of school, I have time to do it. So it's basically the captain's corner, and basically, I've been in 80-12 since I was 15 years old, and I'm 22 now. So,
Damn.
and I've captained a team for probably half the seasons that I've played. I've been a captain. So I'm trying to basically interview other captains who are some that are like new to 80-12 or new to like amateur captaining, and then other captains who have maybe been around for a few years or been around for a while and captained many teams and maybe have captained multiple like personalities on a team, and basically just try to give people of 80-12 like a different perspective of like the captaining view of things.
That's
Um,
cool.
and then hopefully after this season, because this season I'm doing Conquer, hopefully like next season, what my goal is to try and like every other week interview a captain from a different division, from like Explorer all the way up to Heroic, and
Right on.
basically get like captains' names out there for people who are playing in 80-12 to kind of like see the different like ways people captain, maybe if they're like looking for a team or something, that kind of thing.
Nice. That's actually a really cool idea. Um, yeah, it's dope.
Thank you, dude.
Are you like putting it together in like a YouTube format or a Twitch format or something? And
Yeah, so my goal is for right now anyways. I have 6 interviews lined up right now. I have you,
damn.
I have let's see. I have Benny in like an hour. And then I have let me see who else I have. I have Talus, I have IPA, and I have
Holy
Rhino
shit.
all tomorrow. So I have 5 right now, and then I have one more. I think I'm supposed to be getting with Core this weekend, but I'm not exactly sure what day yet. He hasn't told me. So I'm basically just trying to get the 8 captains that made playoffs for Conqueror right now.
Right, right.
Because I tried to get a hold of Island, but he had some work stuff going on, so not too worried about that one. And yeah, I'm just basically like talking to captains, getting a feel about how they feel about their team, how they got into making their own team rather than joining one, and that's pretty much it.
Cool,
So
man. I'll do my best to answer any kind of questions and shit you got going on. You're gonna be busy though. You got like fuck tons of interviews.
yeah, I do. It's fun though. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy like meeting people, meeting different personalities of 80-12. So
Right on,
it's
man.
not too bad. All right, so I guess I'll start off. I have a question for you personally about you won Warrior last season, right? You're a
Yeah, we
reigning champ
did.
from Warrior?
That's the first time we've ever won since we've
Really?
joined. Yeah, first time we've ever won a league or a division.
So
Um,
so how
we
long were you
joined.
playing?
You know what? I'm gonna check right now because I know it's been at least a few years. Just give me a sec. 'Cause I think it shows on our team. All right, so we've played since season 27, which
Really?
was 2020, I think. Is that right? Yeah, it looks to be right. Yeah, 2020. And I think we did 27, 28, 29. We did 30. We skipped season 31. And I think that is the only, yeah. So we've been playing since season 27 and we only skipped season 31. So we
Okay.
we we haven't been in here quite as long as you have, but
No, that's I mean
it's
that's quite a feat though.
we kind of the mission for me and the boys has always been let's at least win once and then we can just kind of like who cares after that because we've
Yeah.
won.
Okay. So I'm looking at Dota Book right now actually. Looking at what you said. Yeah, so season 27 all the way to 39. So you're looking at 13 seasons basically, minus the 31. That's quite a while. So have you had the same roster of 5 or have you swapped out one or two or however many players?
So when we first signed up, it was my so this was back when I was divine. And it may have been because you remember at some point they made a switch from MMR to medals
Yeah.
in Dota. And I was five something K MMR, and then they made a switch, and I was divine, and then we signed up for this amateur league. And after reading the rules, I found out that basically I think at that time we had to play in the league because the calculator didn't exist. with your whoever your highest ranked player was. I think something like that. I don't know if that sounds familiar to you or not.
Hmm.
So because I was divine, I dragged all of my friends up. So it was me, a roommate, my brother, and two other real life friends. One of the guys dropped out almost immediately because he was like, "Yo, this shit is fuck." Like we got smashed. Our first, I think we lost every single game, and then I think we automatically made playoffs because there wasn't enough teams, and we took one game off a team that was talking shit about us because they said we were a joke. So we were hyped that we took like a game off at the time it mattered most. They ended
Oh
up beating
yeah,
us,
for
which
sure.
was great, but it was really funny to actually win one against them at the very end. And then after that, I had some other real life friends that played Dota that were higher ranked that said they'd be interested. And then I think since season 28 and on, we've been the same group. So I
Oh
think
wow.
other than the
So
first season,
so other than the first, yeah.
yeah,
So
we've
you're
been
you're looking at 12 seasons with the same exact five.
same guys. Yeah. And I've been playing Dota with these guys for, I don't know, how long has Dota 2 been out? It feels like it's been at least a decade.
I think 9 years. I'm pretty sure. It could be
Yeah,
10, but I think it's
it
nine.
sounds about right. We all like, because we all played Dota 1 together and Warcraft 3. And then when we heard Dota 2 came out, we all tried to get the beta and we all got in at some point or another. So we've all like this group that I'm playing with right now, we've been playing together since our mid 20s and we're all in our 30s now.
Wow, that is. I mean, hey, that's a feat in and of itself. I mean, if you're looking at since season 27, right? Season 27 was 2020 in March, April. In April 2020. So if you're looking at season 28, which you said is when you guys started as your five right
Yeah.
now, middle of the year 2020, you're looking at 3 years now. Over 3 years that you guys have been together, which I don't know a single team that's been together all five for over 3 years. That's I mean that
That
in
would
and
be
of
cool if
itself
we
is
had the
crazy.
longest record. That'd be
I
awesome.
I wouldn't put it past you, honestly. I think I mean I know there was a WSS Hellbear stack that was together for like 2 years. I don't know of any team that's been together over 3 years. So like all five. So that's really crazy.
For like the longest time too, after when we had joined, we were considered like the joke. I don't know if you were like too familiar with what was their team name? Well, I guess kind of this season it's been a little bit Sam Sarah. Not to talk shit about those guys because I Malibu's awesome. I love that guy, and I stood in for his team with Sempo.
Hmm.
Um, but there was like we were that team where it's like everyone, and it was for multiple seasons. It wasn't just one season. Everyone's
You're
oh
the
it's Helmets
joke. You're
on
the
there.
joke of the division you're
We're
in.
the joke, yeah. And then
Yeah.
it's like because we were good at pubs, but when you play in 82L, it doesn't take very long for you to realize like it is a whole other form of Dota.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's totally different, and it took us a long time to figure out how to draft, how to uh, hit timing, stuff like that. You can't just play it like a pub because you'll lose.
Yeah, no, that's you're 100% right. So going off of being the joke, quote unquote, of your
Yep.
division, I want to ask what brought you, say from, I mean, just an example, say from like season 28, 29 to, as a joke, quote unquote, to winning last season. Like, what were some steps that your team took each season, to get better? Because I think I saw that you had two top three finishes before last season.
Yeah, we've had a couple decent finishes before we actually won for sure. I don't remember the exact positions, but we tend to almost always make playoffs. And then it's usually, I'd like to say usually around top four is kind of where we typically sometimes less. But in terms of changes, I think like a big part of it was drafting. So when we first signed up for the first few seasons, I did the drafting. Um, and to be honest, drafting is like super hard. And like I think I really
Oh,
struggled to wrap
yeah.
my head around it. And it's tough too because I feel like a lot of times when we lost, the guys would be like, "Dude, the draft sucked." And I was like, "Well, you guys didn't really like add any input. You
Oh
didn't say,
yeah.
hey, I want this hero, or I don't want this hero." And
The
so
captain's nightmare feeling like you lost the draft.
yeah, and you're like, hey, what do you guys want to play? And you don't get any input, and then you lose, and they're like, well, it's a draft. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
you didn't fucking help, kind of thing, right? So I got frustrated. I said, someone else pick up the reins, and Dr. Changstein stepped in to do the drafting, and he's been great. Like I find he's really, really good at drafting, and not only that, he has full confidence in us,
Hmm.
regardless of what. And I feel like that goes a long way. Like if I tell him I want to play a certain hero, he doesn't even hesitate. He just locks it in right away. So I think that definitely helped. And then other than the drafting, I think the biggest thing was learning to play our timings around with each other and when we should push together and when we need to, port for defend certain towers or not, and just stuff like that. It's kind of generic Dota strats that you see, just generally speaking, with any competitive Dota. Because, like again, with pubs, you can just do whatever the fuck you want, and a lot of
Oh
times
yeah.
still win anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. You
Yeah,
can have some hero just AFK farm for 45 minutes and win the game because
yeah, and
Dota's
just
cool.
solo everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's cool. I do relate with you there on the whole drafting thing. I've had many teams where I have sincerely apologized to my team and felt horrible because I could blame a playoffs BO3 series to just a draft being completely horrible and losing. So
Yeah, it's
it's a
tough.
horrible feeling. It really
It
is.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect you there on that one. Um, I want to ask you though. So if you've been in it for 3 years with the same five, what do you
Mhm.
feel like if you know much about 8012 now? Because I mean you've been here for 3 years. What do you feel is something that your team has and that you have, like synergy wise that maybe other teams don't have? Because a lot of most teams form either one season before or two seasons before and they're done. They swap up,
Right.
swap players. Like, what do you think you guys have synergy wise? Because I mean, that's something that I've never had is a same teammate for 2 seasons.
So I would say probably specifically, and I can name out a specific player, but we all kind of have it to a certain extent. With stretchy arms, so he's my brother, and he's also my roommate. We got kind of like a house together with my wife and another friend. Um, but he and I we're best friends. Like I've gone along with my
Mm-hmm.
brother. He's 3 years younger than me, and we've been playing Dota One, like Dota All Stars. I don't, man, like I think we were like 14 at the time or 13 or something. So he and I have laned together and played Dota together for so long that when we lane or when we do stuff, we don't need to communicate most times. I'll do something and he just knows because he has so much experience playing with me what I'm doing. And with the other guys, it's kind of to maybe a lesser extent, but similar. The same thing. Just we've been playing together for so long that our comms. I wish I could like give you like a recording. Like our comms, it's very rarely like us talking about the game. We're just flaming each other. We're shitting on each other. We're laughing about dumb shit. We're getting upset with each other. It's very rarely okay, let's do this or let's do that because we just know each other's play styles and what we do that we just kind of just by watching the other person we kind of know what they're going to do, and I think that's probably helped us more than almost anything.
Oh
Is
yeah, I
probably the
will
one advantage we have.
I will definitely say that that is like something that's invaluable to a team, something you can't buy basically. I've played on many teams where just even like 4 or 5 seconds of trying to decide this or that for a play or what hero to
Yep,
prioritize,
it could be
and
gone.
then 4 seconds later, it's like your team just got initiated. It's over. There's no more talking
Yeah,
because you just lost the opportunity.
the windows are
So
so small that like if you
yeah,
have to call it out or question it, it's gone
yeah,
sometimes in Dota. And so being able to just know what my brother's going to do, what the boys are going to do, I've been playing with them this for so long that it's like for me, it's not really a matter of, what are they going to do? It's going to be a matter of, okay, are we actually going to win this fight or not based off of our
yeah.
skill and farm and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's damn, I wish I had that on my team, Loki. But no, okay. So I really like that aspect. That's something that a lot of teams don't have, something that's very invaluable. But on the flip side, I mean, because
Mhm.
you can't say you're perfect. I know every team's had their moments. What I don't want specifics here, but I want to know what are some maybe heated moments or whether it's toxicity struggles or it's maybe two
Sure.
players go head to head on a game or how the draft was or how the itemization was, something like that. What is a struggle you guys have had, whether it's this season, last season, that you guys had to overcome and you maybe had to have the bigger voice as the captain?
Yeah, I mean, so like it's like family, right? I mean, you love them to death, but you never really get like super along with your
Yeah.
family all the time. Um, so I mean that we definitely run into uh, problems with one another every once in a while. Not usually me. Not trying to brag or anything in that regard, but I'm a very like chill PMA person. Nothing really seems to upset me. If we lose a game, it's whatever, let's go next. I don't usually blame the guys or anything like that, but every once in a while we'll have, you know, certain people disagree on certain things and but again, it all comes back to that. Like we've all known each other for so long. You take the night, you get pissed about it, you yell at each other, and then the next day you're kind of over it. You just get back to playing Dota with each other. It's usually a clash in like I don't think this was the right item to buy, or I don't think this was the right time to initiate, or otherwise, or we should have done this or that, and someone else thinks the other, and then they'll argue about it. And more often than not, that's usually what our disagreements are on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be completely honest, it really does not happen that often because we're used to each other. A little bit of flame happens almost every game, but the cases where people get actually upset, it's once in a blue moon for sure. So that's definitely kind of an added benefit. No one's stressed
Yeah.
out. We're just having fun playing 82L, you know?
Yeah, no, that's an amazing atmosphere to have. I don't think most teams have that. I like even some of the most positive teams, they might take a hard 0-2 loss that night, and they have some heated moments about differing opinions for the games, what could have gone differently. So that's really cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
the the O2s are like when we get really smashed, especially against a team we felt we could have won if we played better.
mhm.
There's definitely more tension in the air, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's a
but we just
given.
we, we just talk through it, and I don't tend to stir the pot or anything. I just kind of, hey guys, it's whatever. Let's just focus on the next game or the next week, and
I gotcha. Okay, cool, cool.
yeah.
So more on the coming weeks for this season in particular. I'm looking right now. You guys are versing Grin Fury. I'm not trying to be a little biased here, but you guys should 2-0 most likely. I think one of one of Grin Fury's players actually dipped on the team already and is not showing up
Oh
next week.
damn.
I don't or tomorrow. I don't know. That's a rumor I heard. Either way, you guys should 2-0, which means you guys are basically playing for upper bracket, right? If you guys get 2-0, you're at 9 wins, which is above everybody else right now. Granted, the other 4 teams have to play tomorrow as well, but you could be in tiebreakers or just make upper bracket from a 2-0. So, what I want to ask you personally on the team aspect outside of it, are there any other like captains or known names that captain their team, whatever, that you are looking forward to facing, or maybe like a little afraid of in Conquer? Because I know you've been around for a while, so you have to know some names.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'd love to give a shout out to Island and the boys there at Green Fury. I mean, they did take a game off of who did they beat this season?
Oh, shut up, dude. They beat
They,
my they beat
I'm
my
not.
team. They beat my
Oh,
team.
was it you? Dude? Okay.
It was
Like
us week
legitimately
one.
did not know.
Yeah,
I'm not.
it was actually
I'm not
week
even
two. It
kidding.
was yeah, no, it was
Um,
week two because my team we almost forfeit week one because we had 2 people out. I was out, and then Marshall was out. So we basically just had 2 random stand-ins for game one or for week one, and we came back week
gotcha,
two, and we'd only played like 2 games together, like on our roster, and so we were like memeing and trying some weird shit. We picked like Sven mid, and
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
think Azure Satan went like 28-2 on Muerta. We got shit on.
Dude, I'm serious. I legitimately didn't know it was your team. That's kind of funny
Yeah,
though.
no, it's okay. It's
But
yeah.
what I was gonna say was like I have nothing but respect for those guys. I've seen Island around a bunch, and the Green Fury boys, like some of the names on that team, I've seen in
Hmm.
and out different teams. Um, I'm not gonna say like without a doubt we're gonna 2-0 them because I've seen the hero like Island plays some Meepo, some Mark Warden. They could easily take a game off us if
Oh
we
yeah.
if we get silly because we're historically known to be a bit streaky. I mean, Jamie often says like they're either one of the best teams or one of the worst teams in the league, and that's honestly true. It's just we don't really like plan out our games or drafts that much. We're really just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. And a lot of times when Changstein's drafting, he's like, I feel like playing this hero, and there's no real explanation as to why. It's just I want to do this, and then we just do, and sometimes it works or it doesn't. So in that regard, we'll see what happens. But in terms of teams I'm excited to play or teams we're a little bit scared of. I would honestly really like a rematch against um what was it? I was
Hmm.
Suburbaniers team. They smashed us with the two stand-ins they had that, well, I guess permanent replacements they had that week, which was a point of contention. It seemed to be for a while, and it was a good dickin'. Like we didn't really look good at all in those games, and I think the boys felt like we didn't put on our best showing, our best foot forward, and I think everyone wants to kind of rematch those guys as a real test to see if we're capable of even taking this thing anywhere in the playoffs. So for sure, those guys I would love a rematch. And then in terms of players, I really like I want to rematch the Dynamite guys as well. They pretty much handed it to us. So we felt like after that game, we're like, those guys were good. Like they were really good. We need
Yeah.
to figure that out. Um, and I have to say, out of like any player I'm scared of, I'd probably say more than anyone, Jamie kind of always, he seems to be such a flexible player, capable of playing any carry, that whenever we draft or go up against Jamie, I'm always like a little bit nervous about it. So for sure him, and he stood in for us one game. And man, oh man, he's I laned with him as position 5, and he is an absolute pleasure to lane with. Like he just knows what he's doing, when to do it. Um, Definitely had synergy with me and the guys really well. So yeah, probably those guys.
Nice, nice. I mean I pretty much agree with everything you said. So, I do want to say my last question for you. This is a
Hmm.
purely captain question. Okay, don't even think about your team. Okay, think
Okay.
about you as a captain. I want to ask you, um, if you've been in the scene for so long, what is or who is rather a Dota 2 pro, preferably captain if you have one, or if not, that's fine. That you is kind of like a model that you look up to.
Um, Fuck, that's a hard question.
I know, right? I could pick five. So,
Probably. So I guess I kind of have two. I would say as a root, like so I've for me and for as long as I can remember, Rubik has always been my favorite hero. I just love the fact that he could be every hero in the game, and I always kind of had this mentality that if you had a mastery of Rubik, you had a mastery of Dota. So I loved to just play that hero, and I watching FY play Rubik is just a fucking master class in that hero.
oh yeah,
He's got to be one of the world's best Rubik players I've ever seen personally. So I'd put FY up there. Shame he hasn't won a TI yet, but I still believe. And then honestly, just watching Jerax play Dota is just next level shit, man. I don't know. I don't know. Every time I watch him play, I'm like, holy, what the fucking hell is happening?
dude, I'm so glad you said that. That is my
Like,
all-time favorite pro player.
he is
Back from before
insane.
the TI wins. Back when I was watching them at majors, dude. Jerax was on some
He's
other shit,
next
bro.
level.
He
Yeah,
was on
he's
some other
really next
shit.
level. Like I know everyone's talking about Yatoro right now, and as
Yeah.
they should. He fucking smashed. But for me, it's just every time watching Jerax play Earth Spirit, Tiny, like just
Oh yeah.
he does shit that like he crafts entirely new ways to play the game that just blows my mind. So yeah, those two guys for sure, I would say.
Very cool. Mad respect to that. Mad respect to that. Well, I'll call you Radio. Radio, I want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you coming out for this interview.
No worries,
And
dude.
I appreciate you being here. I have some more interviews to do. I will probably be uploading this relatively soon-ish. Hope. Fingers
Nice.
crossed. But I do appreciate you coming out, and good luck to you guys on the Helmets on squad. I have not had the pleasure to play you yet. I can't wait. It will be an easy 2-0 for us. I mean, it will be a fun series. No, I'm kidding.
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
but I do look forward to it, man, and I wish you the best going forward and conquer it, dude.
Right on, man. This is an awesome idea, thing that you're doing. I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. All right, take it easy, brother.
Yeah, take care, dude.